sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
What is up, everybody? Thank you for the love and the appreciation for Created on Purpose. Thank you guys for checking out that second podcast. So I appreciate you. I really do. Keep on keeping on. This is episode 3. So that means that I am 3 parts past starting. So it's a big deal. Today we're dreaming big. So thank you guys for listening. This is the Eyes of Corn podcast, hosted by Cornelius Hayes. Tee-hee. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Eyes of Corn podcast, where you get to see life through the eyes of yours truly, Corn, where every day, and I mean every day, is a great day to create. And today is a great day to create something and dream big. Today is a great day to dream big. Thank you, everybody that listened to my previous episode, Created on Purpose. Thank you for those of you that listen to Is It Hot or Is It Me? For some reason, I got my weeks messed up and we skipped a week, but it's all good. We in the hood and we back and we're going to be better. So this week we are talking about dreaming big, as you may have gathered from the title of this episode, because that's the word that I was looking for, hence the long pause. So today, my idea for this episode is that everyone, especially those that are creative and those that are called by God, can dream big. So whatever it is that your future is holding for God to get you to the ideal person that He has for you is attached to a dream. But how do we get from that dream to the manifestation of the thought and get that stuff all captured in reality? How do we bring our dream to life? So that's what we'll be talking about today. Hopefully I can articulate it as my heart desires, as I dreamt to articulate this in a podcast. But it is what it is. Today we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna dream big and we're gonna do the things that we do. So first off, you might ask, what is a dream? So according to Webster's Dictionary, dream, when used as a noun, is an experience. It is a series of thoughts. It is a series of thoughts, images, and sensations occurring in a person's mind during sleep, a cherished aspiration, ambition, or ideal. And dream, when used as a verb, is also the action, obviously. So to experience dreams during your sleep is dreaming. To indulge in daydreams or fantasies about something greatly desired. So to be dreaming and to have a dream. So today we are talking about having a dream and learning how to dream. So we're going to be dreaming and we are going to have a dream. Albert Einstein once said, "Never give up on what you really want to do. The person with big dreams is more powerful than the one with all the facts." And that's coming from a smart dude who had a lot of facts, if you catch my drift. So those who dare to dream often have a broader perspective in life, and they can turn the improbable into the possible. The man behind this quote is, like we said, Albert Einstein, who was a genius. Let's just say that. He emphasized the importance of sticking to what you want to do, even when others think that it's unrealistic. So you stick to something because you have had that experience where you have a dream and now you grab a hold of it and it's yours. So I'm pretty sure Jacqueline Clark said, if you want it, you can have it. If you need it, you can grab it because it's yours. It's yours. It's yours. Tell your neighbor that it's yours. So I'm just saying, if you want to have this dream, if you want to claim it, you want it to happen, you want something to move, you got to claim it. You got to put some action to it. And then you got to tell your neighbor about it. So tell your neighbor it's yours. So yeah, everybody dreams. Like literally, like when you go to sleep, you dream. I'm pretty sure like if you talk to a kid that is like a kid, they'll tell you that they had a good dream or a bad dream. They had nightmare because that's the opposite of a dream. Even though it's a dream, it's just a bad dream. I had a bad dream. I had a nightmare. But, you know, we try not to have nightmares around here. We only have good vibes only. You feel me? So let's trust the process, you know. You know, you gotta get to that dream. You gotta make it happen. Let's talk about making things happen in your dream or bringing your dream to the reality, because that's what we're talking about. Because dreaming alone is not enough. There has to be an action if you want to bring your dream to life. So this brings us to the part of our podcast that is not sponsored. If you've taken the Myers-Briggs personality test, I think it's 16 personalities, and you take a test and you get judged on different attributes that most individuals have, and then you are placed into a box in which they identify you with, so you can help identify with others. Or if you are one of those people that hate boxes, you are not put in a box. You are just grouped together with people that have a like mind, because I mean that's not a box. But when I did the Myers-Briggs personality test, I was a campaigner, which is a ENFP, which is someone who is extroverted, intuitive, feeling, and prospecting in their personality traits. These people tend to embrace big ideas and actions that reflect their sense of hope and goodwill toward others. Their vibrant energy can flow in many directions. One campaigner said, "It doesn't interest me in what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for. And if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing." There's some famous people that you may know who are campaigners. If I'm not mistaken, you got Will Smith, Kelly Clarkson, Ellen DeGeneres, Spider-Man, because who doesn't love Spider-Man? And if you don't like Spider-Man, don't tell me about it, because you're some weirdo. Willy Wonka, and I'm pretty sure the great Raymond Irvin, who will be on the episode coming soon, is also a campaigner. We'll talk about that later. So make sure you take the 16 personalities test so you can understand who you are. If you are extroverted, intuitive, feeling, and prospecting like me, or you could be something else. Whatever you are, be that and be great while doing it. Got it? Take the test. Link in the show notes or whatever. There has to be an action to your dreams. As we were just saying, take a second to really think about your dreams. What is it that you want to become? I'm gonna say that again so you can really like do that. So take a second and think about like what you really want to do. Dream big. Like, where do you want to be in a year? What do you want to be in 5 years? What do you want to be in 10 years? What do you want your kids' future to look like? What do you want to mold for them when you have kids? All right, so boom. I hope you have fun dreaming and thinking about what you want your future to become. So for me, these are my dreams. Going to get super vulnerable. I really hate doing this, but I know that it's necessary in some places to be vulnerable, and there's limits to your vulnerability. So you have to know when and where and how to extend your vulnerability and know how to open up towards others. So one of the things that I've kind of discovered about myself in the last couple years, last couple months, is I really, really, really care about people. If you know me, I'm pretty even across the board, like in my relationships with people. Like there's certain people that I'm more connected with, but I really genuinely care about everybody. So I just have that kind of personality. Like I care about everybody's well-being. I care about people in general, and it's not me tooting my own horn because that's weird because I'm not that kind of person. I'm probably the most humble person you'll ever meet, said no one that was actually humble. But I try to be humble. But I want to see people maximize their potential. I want to see people happy. I want to see people be like, I personally want to be a part of that journey where people find out how to love themselves better, but more importantly, how to love God. So I want to be a person that is in that journey part of people's lives where they connect with God and they connect with themselves and they find themselves in God. So it's kind of one of those weird things where you got to go here to go there, but to go back here to get to where you really wanted to be in the first place. It's just that soul searching journey. But to do this part of your dream, to dream big, for me to dream to be the person that helps people reach God and reach who they really want to be while loving themselves, I've kind of adapted certain tools for that journey. Some of these tools were very intentional and some of these tools were not intentional at all. So some of the tools that help me get people to love themselves, in my opinion, and love God. One of the first things that kind of started birthing happened in creativity. So my creativity is something that helps people reach, like, not only love themselves, hopefully, but love God, because you get to see, like, if you really genuinely love yourself, typically, like, you love God at the same time. Or it might not be that way. I don't know. Let me not get into that. But yeah. So some of the tools that I use to help people accomplish this dream that I have is photography. This is the first thing. It is the still shots of people's lives. I bought a camera because I wanted to be a videographer, because I wanted to make YouTube videos, because I want to do all that. But then somebody asked me to start taking photos for them for a very special moment in their life, and they were able to capture it. I didn't do great, but I did good photos, and then I realized that I want to get better at that, so I can get better at helping people, like, look at something and, like, smile. Like, when you look at your wedding photos or your engagement photos or just some pictures of you on your birthday or whatever it is, like, I want somebody to look at those pictures and be like, man, like, I want you to smile. Like, if you don't smile looking at your pictures, like, I mean, maybe I didn't do that great. Maybe I, like, conveyed the wrong emotion. Or, I don't know. It just depends. I want to be a happy person. I want people to be happy when they look at their photos, is basically what I'm saying. So there's all of that. So that's where kind of my camera play comes into, like, my future and molding all these things together, because the still photos matter. And that's even if Instagram doesn't say so, because they want to be a video sharing platform now. They think that video is more important than photography, even though they're a photo sharing app, even though they changed their mind and said they're not a photo sharing app. But this isn't about Instagram right now. So my leading into our next point, another tool that I have been using is videography, because that's what modern media pushes. It has to tell a story. So I take my camera and I'm not just shooting stills at this point. I'm actually recording events as they unfold and capturing them digitally, and then going and editing them later and enhancing the story, enhancing the feeling, enhancing the emotion, so that it further pushes what I felt in that moment, or we felt in that moment, depending on where you are. I recently did some videos and took some photos at Peak, which is a WPF youth convention, youth conference. And I shot, like, some Instagram reels or whatever of the preaching, and I attached music to it, showed, like, different clips of what was happening during the preaching, and they help convey emotion. They help convey a feeling. So when people see this, they're like, hey, man, I want to be there next time they have peak, because you should be there next time we have peak. 2022 is going to be in July. It's going to be litty, litty, litty. So make sure you're there. Another thing that I recently got into is podcasting. So I can express ideas in long format, which is typically done audibly, but I'm going to start recording videos and posting those on YouTube so you can hear it and watch it at the same time, so you can see my facial expressions, because they're so awesome, because I'm a super facial expressionist, if that's a word. But cheese. So I really want to do these podcasts so I can perfect the art of storytelling. That's where like my corn nuggets are going to come into play. So this Friday, we're going to drop our first corn nugget, because I didn't drop it last Friday. So hope you guys really enjoy that corn nugget. It's going to be really funny. So funny. It's going to tell a great story. And this podcasting is just a part of me becoming who I am going to be in the future. All of this comes into play. Each moment that I spend and enhance a craft helps me develop into someone that can help other people in the end. Because when you listen to this podcast, it's not really like, I don't know, it's not like educational. I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know how to categorize my podcast. I don't know if I want to call it motivational or spiritual, or it's definitely not comedy yet. I'm just kidding. It's definitely not comedy. I am comedic at times. Okay, this is me not being humble. This is just my podcast, so it's a process of me learning how to do certain things. Another tool that I hope to use in the future is motivational speaking. Kind of like for like the last 4 or 3 years, I was thinking about it while I was in school. Like one day, like I'm going to be super successful. I don't know. I'll be someone that people can look to get wisdom, because I looked at somebody and I got wisdom, and people learn how to do business because I learned from somebody how to do business. And everything that you take in, you want to give back to the people. And I graduated high school from Ramsey High School. Shout out to all the Rams. It's in the heart of Birmingham City. It's on the city's southern border. And it's on the hill, and you can overlook the whole city. And one thing that I thought about a couple years ago, I was like, man, how crazy would it be if I gave a speech at Ramsey and I offered some money for a scholarship? Like, I would love to offer a scholarship for some student in the future so they can go to college, and I fund it because I believe in people, and somebody has a dream and they can't afford their dream, but it's people that have already walked down those roads that can help and I don't want to say embrace, but help push that dream for them to another level. So that's one of the things that I want to do. And I mean, I'm not sure, but a lot of people spoke when I was in high school, and I was sitting there, and I think it'd be cool for some kids in 2031 or whatever, whenever it is that God has me go back or whatever, some of these kids hear that you can do it. Because I was just like you. I was sitting in the same seats as you. So that'd be super dope to do one of these days. I'm not sure when that day will be, but I'll be ready to motivationally speak to somebody one of these days. The next step is I really want to write a book. Like, I've been thinking about it for like the last 2 years. I was like, I can write a book. I just broke my glasses. That's wild. I really want to write a book. That's something that I want to do. I want to write maybe a children's book so I can force ideas to these kids at a young age so they can know that it's so important to love yourself, and it's so important to love God. It's so important to have a relationship with him, because he is the one who holds the world in his hands. We used to sing the song when we were kids. He's got the whole world in his hands. 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 And that's important for kids to know, because he's got you and me, brother, in his hands. And it's just something that we learned as kids, that we have to know who God is. I mean, it's important. So you can enforce these ideas to kids at a young age so they can know they love themselves, so they can develop into somebody that's strong and mighty in God's kingdom and on this earth, so we can have strong godly people in businesses and strong godly people in libraries and all these different places where we need strong business people. I mean, strong godly people. Um, and these are kind of like just some of the weird things that I've been figuring that can go into this future of mine, whatever it may be. I think it'd be super cool to do voice acting. Um, I mean, if I meet somebody that like does animation at like a conference, like I'm gonna be like so lit. Like, create me a cartoon so I can make a bunch of voices and I can tell a good story, because I think it'd be hilarious. Because I mean, people watching cartoons already. Like, let's make some apostolic cartoons. So I mean, yo, that's just me. That's just my idea. I don't know. Don't nobody steal it. So don't tell your friends and none of that. Let me be me. Let me be great, and let me create my own animation one of these days. Another thing that I think would be super cool. This is kind of, I mean, so I like to be involved in music in some way, because obviously music like is one of the easiest ways that people embrace emotion, accept emotion, channel their inner emotion, all these things. It's just one of the ways that happens. So I don't know. It's so much creativity that goes into music. Like, it's different levels of it. Like, you can be involved in the songwriting process, the producing process, like the actual performance process. Like, I can be an artist, but I don't really see myself as the artist. I see myself more so in like behind the scenes stuff. So learning how to songwrite is something that I really want to do in the future, because I'm pretty sure God has given me songs, because it's something I prayed about to get songs. So God is going to give me songs, and I need to learn how to channel those into something that can be converted into a true experience for those who are listening in the future, whenever that time may come. So y'all be ready, because there will be something that happens in the future. Um, and then like spontaneous worship, all those things, just like just all kinds of ways. Uh, I guess music could include like worship leading too. Like, I like to do that at some point. I feel like I could do it. I could hold it down. I could tell everybody to slip a hand up in the air and just think about how good God has been to them. Um, but yeah. So that's like, those are my dreams. Like, but what are your dreams? I mean, I hope you wrote them down when you took a second to just think about it. And if you didn't, take the time right now to write down your dreams. Um, I mean, it's important. Like, you write down those dreams and you think about what you can do right now to achieve that dream. Like, I just named out a bunch of things that I do I just named out a bunch of things that I do creatively that are helping me get to that point. But these things are changing in different seasons of my life. Like, it's not always going to be the same. I know I won't always be able to do all of these things, and if I do, I mean, that's awesome. But it's really like going to be a process. Like, it's things that I want to learn right now that I have on this list, and it's just all kinds of things that go into learning how to do all these things in the long run. Not to be spiritual, like I said, I be trying not to be super spiritual or whatnot, but I just can't help it. That's who I am. Your relationship with God has to be creative when you're in the process of growing with God, because we're all unique. Everybody doesn't communicate the same. We all communicate differently. Our relationship with God is not like different from any other relationship we have. Like, we have to know how to communicate with God. We got to know how to communicate with Him, just like any other relationship. Our pastor always talks about like when you're connecting with God, when you're entering into the different portals to connect with Him, like prayer, praise, and worship. You just go into this place and you're opening doors and you're closing doors and you're learning, you're twisting knobs, locking this, unlocking that, and you're figuring out how to get to God the fastest way. You're learning how to do this. And that's different for everybody. Like, everybody doesn't have the same path. Like, if God has a big hallway with everything that He has for us, we don't all unlock the same doors. We don't all walk through the same hallway. Like, we all have to know how to get to God for ourselves, because we all come from different places. And that's like I said, it's different from everybody. Like, I don't know your process to get close to God, but I know how I have to connect with God. But like I was saying, not trying to be spiritual. Everything is practical. It's practical steps to doing this. Like, I created a business called Eyes of Corn Media, and it's super young. It's a baby, but the potential of where I can go with my business is all in my hands, all in the dream that I have for my company. Like, Eyes of Corn Media can only be as big as I dream it to be big. Like, people say it's bigger than you imagine. Like, your dream might be big, but if you put it in the right person's hands, like, your dream is like nothing compared to what it can actually be, especially if you put it in God's hands. NBA superstar Joel Embiid penned the phrase, trust the process. So you need to write down your dreams, find a way to verbalize it when somebody asks you what you're passionate about, what's your mission statement, what's your life mission statement, how do you get to your ideal person from where you are. You have to be able to articulate that if somebody asks you, because it's people that are movers and shakers in this world, and they can get you to the places you need to be to achieve your dreams. You need to be ready, and that's something that I recently learned, how to articulate my life mission statement, where I want to go, how I want to get there, and the things that I can offer to people. That's something that I had to learn. So for my young creators, you already know what time it is. This might just be our motto for the podcast, that you can do this. This is our day. This is your season to be blessed. What do you want to do in your life? What is it that you want God to do through you? What is it that you believe will be your job in the revival in this season? Like, how do you see yourself connected with that? Acts chapter 2 and 17 says, and it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. So not only is it our time to dream, but we got to connect with God's vision for the church. We cannot afford to lose the dreams that we have that will propel the church to the next level. For the young people, it is our season to push forward, to push against the gates of hell. We got to keep on going. We cannot let up. We will not sit down. Ain't that right, Bishop Holmes? We will not sit down. This is our day. Ain't that right, Evangelist Jermaine Irvin? New things for a new generation. Ain't that right, Evangelist Jacob Phillips? You got to do what you got to do, man. You know what I'm saying? This is our moment. This is our season. This is our day. Shout out to the young people who out there doing things. Shout out to the young people that got a dream and are willing to do whatever it takes to get to that dream. Shout out to the young people that have a call of God on their life, and they praying and reading their Bible and learning how to connect with God every day, so that when they get to the moment that call is manifested, that they're ready. Like, shout out to the people that say yes when their pastor asks them to do something. Just say yes. That's all that matters. We just here to say yes. Whatever you need from me, God, I'll do it. Whatever you need from me, whatever it is, I'll do it. So this is Dream Big. Like, it's a call to action. It's not a title. It's a call to action. Dream big. Like, write your dreams down and do it. So thank you for listening to today's episode of the Eyes of Corn podcast, where you get to see life through the eyes of yours truly. Yeah, man, I appreciate you so much. You guys will never know. Thank you for the streams, the listens, whatever it was, however you shared it, whatever it could have been. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you come back next week. It'll be a lot of fun. So thank you guys. Next week we have Josh Hosey on the podcast. He's going to talk about some things that he dreamed big for, or some things that helped him be created on purpose. You know, it is what it is. Yeah. Follow me on Instagram at Eyes of Corn, EYESOFCORN, and also eyesofcorn.media. Those are both on Instagram. Subscribe to me on YouTube at Cornelius Hayes. Just type in my name, you should see it. Yeah, we're gonna keep this going. We're gonna keep on rolling. Thank you. Peace.